Hi, Tracy. Come in.
Hi.
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 I'm Ashley. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So, what brings you in today?
Well, I guess I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed, might be the word. I'm not quite sure. I have a lot going on lately.
Okay.
So just starting to feel the stress of it all. And I think it's just starting to affect me at work and I guess in some of my personal relationships.
Okay. So these sessions are scheduled, so we'll meet 5 times once a week, so each Thursday. Session today is just to get to know you a little bit better, so just kind of talk and, tell me what's going on, anything that you want to talk about.
Sure.
All right.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah. So, like I said, just feeling a little overwhelmed. I just started a new job,
Okay.
which is a good thing. I like it so far, so that's a plus. But just with that and with school, and I'm also living at home, which isn't the most pleasant of living situations. It's just this week especially has been really, it all kind of just hit me this week at once.
So you just got a new job?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And where is this job?
I work as a child study team secretary at
Okay.
Henry Hudson Regional High School and Highlands Elementary.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you like it?
I do, yeah. I just started about a month ago.
Okay.
I think it was January 11th was my first day there. It's really awesome. It's very different than my last job. The environment, I get to work with a ton of people, really awesome people, and in 2 different schools. So, I'm bouncing between the elementary school and the high school, but I really like it. My boss is super cool.
Okay.
So
And you said that, you're living at home and going to school, so balancing all of it is more of the difficult part?
Yeah, I moved home when I decided to go back to graduate school to save money because school is expensive. And so my parents let me come home for about a year. It's going to be a little bit over a year.
Okay.
And I think just with getting a new job and then working out the schedule with my parents both being home, it's just been a little like we get in each other's way, and my mom likes things a really particular way in her house, so that can be, we kind of just butt heads that way.
Okay, so how's your relationship with your parents since you've been home?
It's good, definitely good. They have 2 houses,
Okay.
One up in Warren County and then their shore house in Belmar. So I've been living in the shore house. So it's much smaller than the house up north, but they're not always there. So that's a good thing that, sometimes we have our own spaces and we're not always on top of each other. But sometimes when we're all in the house, it's only a 2-bedroom, so it's kind of tiny. But my relationship with them is really good. I get along with them. I never used to get along with my mom in high school, but I think since I grew up a little bit, we get along really good now. Yeah.
Well, that's good. You seem to enjoy your job a lot and, your parents, so that's all good stuff.
Yeah.
So what kind of makes you so stressed out about everything?
I guess, to me, I like to be really organized. I like to have a timeline. Like, if this is due, I like to be prepared. I don't like to procrastinate. Sometimes it happens. But I just felt like this week and last week there was so much to do in so little time.
Okay.
I also like to have a work-life balance because at my last job it was like all work all the time and it drove me nuts. So I really like to get my work done like Monday through Friday and then have my weekends.
Right.
But, there's some things due on the weekend or, work is really stressful at certain days. So I think just having so much due or so much to do and just feeling like at the end of the day.
Right.
If that makes sense.
So how much time were you working before you went back to school?
I mean, it was technically a 40-hour full-time job, but I traveled a lot with them. I was doing a lot of driving, a lot of traveling. The main office was out of Massachusetts, so they would have me go up there every so often. So it was way more than 40 hours. I would do work from home, answering emails on the weekend, things like that. Whereas the really good thing about this job is, once I'm out of there, I'm out of there, which is nice. So, it was a lot more than what I'm working now.
Okay. So you're enjoying this job more now?
Yeah.
That's good.
Definitely. It's definitely better for that balance. But when I first started, it was just the beginning of the semester.
Right.
And now, it still is technically the beginning of the semester, but now more things are starting to be due.
Well, you just started a new job and a new semester all at the same time.
So, yeah, it's a lot of new people, too, and new routines. So I'm very, like, I get up, I do this, I do that, and I like things to be structured. So when they're not, it freaks me out a little bit.
So have you found that lately it hasn't really been?
Yeah, everything's just still really new. You know, things that my boss wants done, or, you know, my professors I still don't really know. Some of my classmates I'm still meeting. So I just feel, like, off.
Okay.
Kind of, yeah.
So in what ways, like, do you feel like you haven't had a lot of time to do things? Like, is that why you feel off?
Yeah. Like, for example, yesterday was a crazy day.
Okay.
So I got up, went to work, and then I'm split between 2 schools every day. So there's a lot of moving around. So
in one day you could be at 2 schools?
Yeah, every day, Monday through Friday, I'm at 2 schools.
Okay.
So, like, most of the time I'm at the high school in the morning until about 12:30 because they start earlier, and then I go to the elementary school. Okay. They're down the street from each other, like, kind of, so it's not as annoying, but it's still, they're 2 totally different teams, 2 different, like, systems of how they do things, and, like, all different kids. Obviously, one's in elementary school, one's in high school, so that adjustment. So yesterday I was at the high school in the morning, and it was, you know, things going on, and then over at the elementary school to catch up on work there. And then I stayed late to do grad school work, which was good, because by the time I get home, it's just too much. And then I went to go to yoga last night. That was for me, but I had to fit that in.
Right.
So by the time I did one school to the other school, schoolwork, and then yoga, I wasn't home until 8:15. And I left the house at like 6:45.
Right. So it's a long day.
Yeah, I'd say that's a long day. And
so you feel like yoga kind of brings you back and calms you down?
Yes. Yoga is amazing. If I don't do it, I can, like, feel myself, like, get even more, which is surprising. Like, I did it last night, and I still felt a little anxious this morning. Mm-hmm. But without it, I don't even want to know, like, what I would have woken up like. Yeah. But I view it as, like, that's my hour for myself. No.
Well, that's good that you take an hour for yourself to do something.
Yeah, it's hard, you know, to put that time aside, but I think that it's really important, you know, for what I want to do.
So what else has been going on?
Oh, well, let's see. We talked about work. Talked about living at home. We talked a little bit about family. I'm really close with my sister.
Okay, so you do have siblings.
Yeah, I have one sister. She's older than me. She's 30.
Okay.
We used to live together, which was really interesting.
In a good way or bad way?
I would say both. I love my sister and I respect her. We're just 2 very different people.
Yeah.
Again, I like my routines. I like things in a certain place. I like things done a certain way, and I know that about myself. She's a little, like, all over the place.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was fun. We had a lot of fun. But she's not the neatest person.
Okay.
We can put it that way. So, yeah, then that's why I moved back home after we lived together. And so she lives on her own. So we've been kind of reworking from, like, roommate situation, which wasn't so great, back to, like, sisters.
Okay.
So that's been going well.
Did you guys see eye to eye on how you were different? Like, how did she see that she was more disorganized than you were? Or is that kind of how you saw it?
I mean, that's definitely how I saw it. She recognizes differences between the 2 of us. Like, the running joke is my family is that I'm the younger, older sister. Like, she's 3.5 years older than me, but I've always been, like, the old soul of the family. That's what my parents say. So I think she, like, gets it, but she doesn't want to do anything about it, type of thing. Like, she's like, well, that's just how my room is, or that's just, what's the big deal? She gets very defensive about it. So there was no, like, working on it. Okay. You know, it was just like, we just probably shouldn't live together.
This is probably a good thing that you got out?
Yeah, for the benefit of everyone.
Your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how have you guys been getting along now?
Good. Good. Yeah, she recently just got out of a pretty serious relationship. So that, she leaned on the family a lot after that happened, which, I was happy to be a support system for her during that. So after that, I've seen her a lot more because her ex was from the city.
Okay.
So she would be, and she works in New York City too. So she'd be there during the week, and then a lot of times she would just stay at his place, so I wouldn't really see her that much. So it's just
convenient for her to be in the city.
Yeah. I wouldn't, and train tickets are so expensive.
Yeah, I know.
So she wasn't, coming back and forth all the time. So she would stay up there a lot, and I wouldn't see her. And I didn't necessarily love her boyfriend.
Okay.
So
it's probably a good thing to you that they're not together anymore.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't like, yeah, you broke up. But I just didn't see it, lasting.
Yeah.
So that was difficult for me, not to say right away to her. Both my parents and I, understood this wasn't a long-term relationship for her, but it was very serious.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But no, things have been well for us lately, which is good. That's definitely something this year. I don't make New Year's resolutions. I don't believe in them for me personally.
Yeah.
But a few months ago when I kind of reevaluated when, I left my last job and then was looking for new work and being in grad school and just a lot of, we talked about, a lot of changes.
Yeah.
I really wanted to focus on, my family, my health, my career, and just being really patient with those things. I kind of want things when I want them. And I know I just have to kind of, chill out a little bit. Well,
it's good that you're being a little patient with it and, building up your relationship with your sister again and, going back to school and going for, a career that you want and having this new job that you seem to love. So, it's all good things, all positive things.
Yeah. It's just all new.
Yeah.
And to me, that can be, it's all, when you list it out, it is all positive. It's not I hate my job, my sister sucks, it's not bad stress. You know what I mean? It's good stress, but I want to do well, too. So that's, I always have that in the back of my head that, I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but I like things to be done, really well. I like to do a good job, right? Especially in a new job. 2 principals.
Yeah,
about,
that has to be a lot.
6 people on, the 2 child study teams or 3 people in one school, 3 people in another. So it's a lot that I'm working with. And it's stuff that's somewhat new to me. So I just wanted to, make a good impression.
Yeah.
Especially for career connections, too.
Is it a big difference between the 2 schools?
Yes. Yeah, it's night and day. The elementary school, it's not much school, so everyone's, really welcoming and warm, the typical elementary teachers and staff are. And the people that I work with are fairly new to the school. I think the one that's been there the longest on my team has been there a year.
Okay.
So everybody's pretty new to the system, and my supervisor's she's been there a few years. And then at the high school, that team has been there for years and years. So I feel when I go to the elementary school, everyone's like, oh, Tracy, hey, not that they're not mean, but I can tell there's cattiness in the office. Oh, well, we've been here 10 years, so we know how everything works. And my supervisor even told me they're very resistant at that school. So I like both of them, but I can definitely tell at the high school they're kind of well, that's just how we've always done it type of people. And
where's your supervisor?
The thing is, okay, so to make things even more confusing, there are 3 schools. There's Atlantic Highlands Elementary School, and there's Highlands Elementary School.
Okay.
They're 2 miles apart because they're 2 separate towns. But they both go to Henry Hudson Regional High School.
Okay.
Why it's not just called Highlands High School, don't ask me. I have no idea. They're all 3 separate districts.
Oh, okay.
Again, makes no sense.
Yeah.
It's just how it was broken out, and that they're trying to make it all one district, which would make a lot of sense. But my boss floats between the 3 schools.
Okay.
Because they're all 3 fairly small schools. The elementary school I work at has 200 kids.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's not big enough to have a supervisor in each building. So it's theme of my life. It's just like everything's here
Yeah.
and everywhere. So she's between the 3 buildings, so I'm not always with her.
Okay.
We talk a lot via like text and phone calls and stuff. But she's awesome. I really like her. Yeah.
Is it frustrating having that relationship where she's not always around, or are you kind of just getting the hang of things without her?
Yeah, it's kind of a mix of both. I mean, at my last job, like I said, my office was based out of Massachusetts. So a lot of my like supervisors and the CEO were there, and I almost never saw them. And my boss was based out of New York, like Westchester County. So I only saw him if there was like an issue.
Yeah.
So it was never like that good to see him. But I see Kelly, my boss, way more than I ever saw my last boss.
Okay.
So I usually will see her. Like today, I saw her for a couple hours in the morning, and then I went up to the high school, and she stayed. So like, no, I think the communication is fine.
Okay.
And she's really great. Like she'll text me, and like we have that like informal type of relationship, which I like. She's not just like, I'm your boss, so do this. She's really cool. I like her a lot.
That's good that you have a good relationship with your supervisor.
Yeah, I was nervous about that because I had been at my last job for almost 4 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
I was very, I guess, comfortable would be the word. I knew everybody. I knew what was going on. I knew the systems and everything. So starting a new job, like, ooh, you know, and there's a ton of people to meet.
Yeah.
But it's good so far.
Well, that's good. So just to kind of recap on everything.
Yeah.
So you started a new job,
Yeah.
January 11th.
Yeah.
So you seem to like it. You have a great relationship with your supervisor. Going back and forth between 2 schools can be a little bit difficult.
Yeah.
Or stressful. And balancing that with moving back home from being with your sister for all the time and going to grad school. It's just a lot kind of in one time to just organize. And especially for you being someone who wants everything organized.
Absolutely.
It's a little stressful.
Yep.
So good stress, but stress.
Good stress, but still stress. You know, still
Yeah.
that like feeling, that anxious feeling. So
Okay.
yeah.
So is there anything else that you want to talk about for the end of the session?
No, I think we pretty much covered kind of. Felt good to like get that all
Yeah.
out. But yeah, that's kind of the gist. You know, nothing crazy, nothing major, but just a lot of little things that kind of build up for me.
Yeah.
And I have a bad habit of letting them build up.
Okay. Well, we'll definitely talk about that next week.
Yeah.
All right. Looking forward to you coming in.
Excellent.
All right.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
See you next week.
See you next week.
Yay. Okay, that was good.
And my computer didn't. It might have froze. Yep. See?
No, that's the video.
No, I know, but